Here's another historic page from the Illini scrapbook. For the News-Gazette, I'm Mike Pearson. Over the first 40 years of his life, former Monticello High School and Fighting Illini star Harry Combs lived a triumphantly charmed basketball existence. As a player, he led the Purple Sages to victories in 52 of the last 56 games he started, then anchored an Illinois squad that won Big Ten titles in 2 of the 3 seasons he wore orange and blue. That magic continued during his 9 seasons as head coach at Champaign High, directing the Maroons to a state championship and 2 runner-up finishes. Then even more success in his 5 seasons at Illinois, winning undisputed Big Ten titles and Final Four berths 3 times. Though there weren't any championships over the next decade, for a while victories continued to come at a steady pace for Combs. Players like Johnny Red Kerr, Paul Judson, and George Bonsall lifted the Illini to an 18-4 record in 1952-53, 17-5 records in 1953-54 and 54-55, then 18-4 again in 55-56. Veteran WDWS broadcaster Jim Turpin said that most of the great high school players in the state wanted to wear orange and blue.
Back in those days, Illinois' reputation was such that all the good players wanted to come here. They would sort of recruit themselves. And that's how he would get 4 or 5 All-Staters, seemed like year after year. And I don't know if he went out to see them play like they do now. I kind of doubt it. I think he felt, well, this is the University of Illinois, you're from Illinois, come here to play.
One last Big Ten championship came during the 1962-63 season when Dave Downey, Bill Burwell, Tal Brody and company formed the starting lineup. That also was the year the university opened the doors to the Assembly Hall. Illinois earned its first bid to the NCAA tournament and defeated Nate Thurman's Bowling Green squad in Game 1. Unfortunately, eventual national champ Loyola was the second round opponent, and the Illini fell by a score of 79-64. Though top-notch talent like Don Freeman, Skip Thureen, Dave Scholes, and Jim Dawson dotted the lineup, Combs' championship touch never returned to Champaign-Urbana. Then, on December 12, 1966, dawned one of the darkest days in the history of Illini athletics. That's when Illinois President David Dodds Henry learned about details that illegal payments had been made to a dozen of Illinois' finest football and basketball players. Again, Jim Turpin tells the story.
One of the first things that I remember was being in a hotel room in Chicago with Harry Combs when there was a knock on the door, and it was a whole hall full of press people with cameras and microphones and so forth. And of course, we had known about it by that time, and we were discussing it with Harry in the room. And Harry immediately walked out and he said, well, gentlemen, if we were found guilty of this, and we are guilty. I thought that was a very strange thing for him to say, and probably not the best thing they could have said at that time. But that was one of the lowlights of all of our lives, I think, when we found out that happened. And, we thought we were all set, that Pete Elliott was going to become the athletic director, and Bill Taylor was going to become the head coach. And Mel Brewer had kept meticulous records and took them into David Dodds Henry and said, here they are. And David Dodds Henry, being the man that he was, said, well, I need to turn this in. We all thought later, not that we wanted to hide something that was illegal, but a lot of different things could have happened there that could have turned that the other way. And I think it took us a decade or more to recover from it.
On March 19, 1967, as a result of the Big Ten Conference's investigation, Harry Combs resigned as Illinois' head coach. 10 years later, he died at the age of 62. For the News Gazette, this has been another historic page from the Illini Scrapbook. I'm Mike Pearson.